Welcome back in downtown Toronto. So let me read this article for a second here. Toronto to see record condo deliveries in 2023, which was last year. 32,000 units expected, most pre-sold to investors planning to rent them out. Think about that for a second. Like in majority of these towers, they are half empty. These towers are half empty. So what does that mean? That means that majority of investors will invest, buy this property, either keep them vacant, which is happening all the time. Like it's been happening for years, right? That's why you have this gray space. Like if you look at these towers, you see that? Like it's a lot of gray space on here, right? So most of the time, these units are empty, right? So check out this beautiful tower. It's huge. Anyways, if you haven't seen an IKEA on a second floor, here's your chance. They have to build it on the second floor. But anyway, let's get back to the topic. Look, it's very simple. If investors are buying, pushing up the prices, leaving these units empty, so that's creating also a housing shortage, right? We're definitely becoming rental society, or that's kind of what is going on because of the affordability pricing and all of that stuff, right? So what are people going to do? I mean, like prices are not going down at the moment. We had the record deliveries. The slowest year ever was in 2023, which was last year when it comes down to sales. So Toronto saw the worst condo sales ever since 2008, I believe, to be exact. So what will happen in the future? It's obviously a great question. If investors can only afford with their payments and stuff like that, and but let me refer and let me tell you something else. When you're looking at an investor that puts down a fair amount of 20%, which is a decent chunk, you know, even a few years ago, they could have had, you know, between $25,000 and $3,000 payments annually, and they could ride that particular investment. Let's say they would not make a residual income per se, but regardless, like they would have the place, the investment, the tenant will pay for all the costs, etc., right? So if you switch it in today's market with 20% down and the same scenario, now the same landlord would own in between their taxes, insurance, maintenance, and all of that stuff. Out of pocket, they would probably have to rent that particular condo, one-bedroom condo, between $38,000 to $4,000, which is not there at all. This price is not there, right? Like, so most of the condos in that bracket, even in downtown, are somewhere around $2,500. Obviously on the smaller end, the big ones go up to $3,000 and obviously upwards from that. But my point is, you will drop down 20% down, and then you would on top of that pay out of pocket $1,000 a month just to stay in that place. So most all of the investors will say, well, first of all, it's not a good investment. Second of all, what's the catch, right? And the catch is, like, you are at the mercy of the market picking up steadily in order to have your gains, which we have seen over the course of, let's say, last decade, right? In Toronto, like I would say everywhere pretty much, right? So that's something to take into consideration when it comes to investing in Toronto. Now, if you're looking at a scale, I mean, Toronto is becoming a huge city, number one. Number two, it's becoming like a hub for investors, is becoming a hub for students. I mean, like the traffic is crazy. It reminds me a little bit of New York, and I think that's where it's heading, to be honest with you, right? Toronto is trying to drive towards New York, and if we are trying to compare New York, Manhattan to be exact, check out the store. Wow, a lot of Pokemons in here. So if you're trying to compare New York, it's similar to Toronto pricing, like very similar. And I don't think that Toronto right at this moment can accommodate that. So I don't know where this, all of the pricing, obviously supply and demand is the number one indicator and the number one balance when it comes to investors and real estate pricing and all of that stuff. So I think for the future, I mean, look, I mean, owning a house in Toronto downtown, a place where you could actually have more than one dwelling under one roof is like, it's a gold mine. So not too far from here, I will show you exactly how a gold mine looks like, and it's very close to University of Toronto here. So that's how the building looks. It's stunning. You have all these students from all over the place trying to study in our hometown here. This is how they eat. That's what's happening here on the streets of Toronto, but it's all good. So let me show you the place, and I'm just hoping that a bunch of these students in the future would be able to afford something for themselves and for their family. So this is one block away from Yonge Street, and let me show you how a gold mine in Toronto looks like.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Those are townhouses that have been built a long time ago. They have been modernized over time. But look at the tower behind that. Like, that's crazy, right? So this is exactly what I'm trying to explain to you, that people moving forward, we will have smaller units, and on top of that, this is already a gold mine. Imagine having a garage and having a driveway. This is 1, 2, 3, possibly 4-car driveway and a garage. 2-story, perfect townhouse. So that's a gold mine. So the way it's going, this is going to be probably the new ride. I have never seen this. You can probably order this on I don't know, on Kijiji or something like that, right? But look at that thing. It's kind of like it's called an EMMO. This is crazy. To be honest with you, kind of cool when it comes to Toronto downtown traffic. Okay, so let's move on. So there you have it. Toronto is becoming an investor's play game. It's becoming a monopoly, and let's see what's going to happen. Like I said, we discussed different angles, what's going on at the moment. A lot of gray space, which means a lot of investors are holding on to these. Let's see what's going to happen with that. I just hope that to be honest with you, that they can maintain and keep these units, because if all of them decide to kind of sell them or rent them at the same time and stuff like that, like, it might be a catastrophe for sure. So let's see what's going to happen in the future. I can already see deals happening in downtown Toronto. I can already see that if you have some kind of money and stuff like that, it would be probably a good idea to kind of invest and find your little place, a little few square feet that you can afford in downtown Toronto, because as I'm saying, like, there are thousands of these students. They have to live somewhere. So that's that for tonight. Please like, subscribe, and share, and see you next time.